I'm here in Haringey in North London. I've come to meet members of the St Anne's Redevelopment Trust community initiative to try and get control of this site behind me here to build community-owned homes.
About 2 years ago we had a campaign to try and save the hospital because we knew the Mental Health Trust wanted to sell 2/3 of the hospital. They want to raise £40 million to redevelop the side they're saving. We lost the campaign, unfortunately, so they got planning permission to sell 2/3 of the hospital. We then had a meeting with local people and asked the question, should we try and be the ones that buy it to stop a big developer buying it? And amazingly, everyone at that meeting felt we should try and buy the whole site and we should develop it as local people. And since then, we've formed a limited company, we've had plans drawn up from all the consultations we've run. We've got a huge firm of architects, we've got a well-respected firm of solicitors, we've got a development manager who's well-respected. And we're now talking about when we buy it rather than if we buy it. So that's very quickly where we are.
You know, the key thing about this project for me is that it means local empowerment. There's so many cuts going on in Haringey, and the post office is being taken away, and we're losing this and that, and this project is about a small group of people coming together, and this group gains numbers, and it's believing in something that's initially potentially unreachable, and it's actually happening. StART is actually happening, and that is really wonderful. It's the really wonderful thing about this, because who would imagine a local group of people coming together and thinking of building 800 houses for social housing? People would think this is rubbish, but it is going to happen.
I got involved mainly because I'd heard about StART, but Haringey has really seriously acute housing problems. The council housing list is beyond, it's unfillable in a sense, based on the plans that are available now. And I know St Anne's hospital site, and when they said they were going to close it down to build housing, it was immediately apparent to me that meant they were going to basically build luxury flats for people that it wouldn't affect it will negatively affect the people that are already living in the area. So what StART were doing was very exciting, because it was like, okay, this is about the community, it's run by the community, and it's for the community, and this is going to be housing to deal with the need in Haringey, not for the need of other people coming into Haringey who just see it as a good investment or a good place to live. I think something like StART here is really trailblazing and showing a different way that the council and that councils across London, across the country, can actually deal with the housing crisis and make housing not for profit and for the community.
The Mental Health Trust got planning permission for 470 houses. And of those, 14% were affordable, and as we all know, affordable means 80% of market value, which for nearly every person I know in Haringey isn't affordable. We wanted to try and do it differently. We went out to a load of community groups, we went around to individuals, to residents groups, to every group we can find, and we said, if they were all genuinely affordable, secure and good quality homes, how would you feel about we put 800 homes on now? And without exception, everyone has said on those provisos we would accept 800 homes. This is from people who were objecting to 470 homes if it was going to be a developer being in charge of them. So people are prepared to accept higher density housing if they know they're in control of it, and the homes are going to go to people they know who need the homes. So we started from that premise. We're putting some business on there, which will be shops, laundrettes, creches. One of the things people have been very certain about is they don't want another Sainsbury's or a Tesco's, so it needs to be local people doing local businesses. And we're keeping 6 of the buildings for community use, with the idea that once we get the land, we will have a really big consultation about what people want going in those community buildings. And the 3 things that have always come up at the consultation events are housing, environment, and that's from keeping the trees and the green spaces to the way the houses are built, and some form of health legacy, because it's a hospital and people want something going back on there. So like the sheltered and supported housing are an example of that. So that's where we got with the consultation. We employed someone to cost the whole project for us, and the costings are about 230 million, but the peak debt at any one point is about 45 million, because we will sell some of the homes even if they're at a reduced rate. We are now in discussions with the GLA. The GLA have said they would like to buy the land and work with StART. The local authority have now eventually said that they feel the GLA should buy the land, and StART is the community organisation they should be working with. It's convincing the Mental Health Trust that they should now sell to the GLA. But the figures work out. We have the professional team with us that can do it, because we are the community. We've never built homes, or we might have built 1 home, some of us. We haven't built 800 homes. We don't have that skill. So we have got top architects, solicitors, developers that have those skills, and we will use a building firm that has got those skills, and we will finance it through things like pension funds and banks. This is all through consultation and asking people what they want. Most people want rented accommodation, so we want to see 75% of it rented, 25% of it sold, and that's sold at, we're looking at around 50% of market value, but that's all needs to be discussed and worked out within StART at the moment. We're not naive that we know we might not be able to get 100% genuinely affordable. So we might have to sell some homes on the open market, but if we do, we're looking at things like co-housing projects or co-ops. They might buy into the project and buy the open market value homes. But we are talking to Haringey Council, and we've said possibly up to 100 homes they would have nomination rights on. We've talked to them about actually buying some of the homes as council housing. We're at a really early stage for that. But we don't want it all to be people just off the council waiting list, because there's just huge numbers of people that are just above that band A, B and C that need housing, that also need housing. So we want to open it up to people that are just above the council's priority list as well. Because we all know people that are not on that priority list that live around here and are being forced out because of gentrification.
One of the keys here is that normally housing is designed by architects and planners outside of the community. They say this is what's going to be best for you guys. You know, they don't know anything about the community, they don't know, but this is actually the community saying this is what we need, this is the kind of housing, this is the kind of things we want in our estate. This is, you know, it's basically you're building a mini village, and it's by the villagers themselves, not by someone from out of town who's just got their great idea. You know, this shows that money isn't the only answer, and that actually communities can take, as you said, they, you know, can empower themselves.
In a way, there's a number of other projects doing the same as we are. You have to get a groundswell to get these things off the ground, and that means from the local cafe owner who's let us use this cafe, and it's nearly become StART's second office, to people like Corbyn. And we need to go out to all those people, because the more and more people speak about StART, whether it's on telly, whether it's on radio, whether it's just their neighbours, it's like that snowball effect, isn't it? And so we're going out to everyone. You know, it's only 800 homes. It's not going to change the world, but it's a start.